A very pleasant good afternoon as we welcome you into our Tuesday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show.
Hello.
We are Quaker Steak and Lube. Special guest coming up later today, dear Goon, here at the Lube, and always a fun discussion.
Yeah, Joel's been a longtime sponsor in Timberland Federal Credit Union from down in the Center County area. He's always been good to us with sponsorships and stuff. But they're having a golf tournament in a couple of weeks, so trying to get some foresmen signed up for that. So Joel's going to be on in the second hour of the show. But my boy travels, and he loves his sports, man. I don't know if you follow him on Facebook, but he's here, there, everywhere for a lot of different sporting events. So he's doing very well, and he's always a good interview.
And again, that'll be coming up in the 3 o'clock hour this afternoon. Lots to get into. Penn State recruiting continuing to go very well. Penn State actually 4th right now in the national rankings for the class of 2026. And just surpassed Clemson into that number 4 spot. Second in the Big Ten behind USC at the moment for that 2026 class. And it's one of those things, Goon, where I think once you get things rolling a little bit, and they obviously have it rolling a little bit right now, it does build upon itself. And I think, Penn State's in a good position right now with the stability it has, with the reputation it has. And, we've talked about it. I just think, I know a lot of folks are understandably concerned that we're in an era where it's just going to be about the money, and it just isn't. If you just think about your circle of friends, your family, yep, money is important. Do you know some people where it seems like it's the end-all, be-all? Yeah, but as the majority of folks driven by just solely money, no, that they're just not. Again, money's important. I'm not saying that you're just going to forego monetary opportunities because, by gosh, you just love a school so doggone much. But what I am telling you is I do think most people, the majority of folks, again, are they going to look for some financial opportunities? Yes. But are they going to look for a university that is a good fit for them, a coaching staff? Are they looking down the road at, hey, man, I want to get to the NFL, and if I don't get to the NFL, I want to have something I feel good about that I can fall back on? I think all of those things factor in. And again, money is a component. I'm not sitting here telling you that, nope, these kids today, they don't give a whit about the money that's being offered. Of course they do. But what I'm telling you is Penn State, it's not like Penn State's giving nothing. They might not be the top dogs when it comes to NIL opportunities and all of the things that go with it. But they're in very respectable territory in terms of what they can offer and provide. And I think when you have that and you combine it with the other things that Penn State and James Franklin are offering and are putting forth as reasons to join the program, it's much like the wrestling team, Goon. Penn State is up there. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, they're just bottom of the barrel. They don't offer anything. They don't promise anything in terms of the NIL stuff, but these kids talk and they know, Penn State's going to take care of you. Are there other programs that are probably offering more money to some of these kids? Yep, I suspect that is absolutely the case. And I think these kids see the success that folks that come through the Penn State program have, both on the wrestling mat, and now there's a long enough track record here of what these guys go on and do in the quote-unquote real world that, I think that's pretty darn appealing to a lot of people. So I just think Penn State, across the board right now with its athletic department, is in very good position.
Look at hockey right now. They're ripping off, like, NHL draft picks, coming to Penn State for a year or two, just like last year. It's the hot commodity right now. They went to a Frozen Four last year. They're noticing that they are putting guys into the NHL from here, from Penn State. Great facilities, great fans. Everything about that we talk about Penn State football. It's rendering itself over to the hockey program right now. Even with our football recruiting. I mean, I'm always going to sit there and say how different it is then and now when I was there 30 years ago to now, and it is different. But you know what is the same? It's the still same amount of fans out there who love you, who are always going to back you thick or thin. And, you get to Penn State, and it's such a great environment up here, the school, the university, the town, the students, the fans. Everybody's on board. I mean, you don't want to use the word culture because of how that was used against us years ago. But there is a great culture of football up here. So there's the old adage at Penn State, get them on campus, and you're not going to want to transfer because you do enjoy the college experience that much. And if it is about dollars and cents, then maybe you're not the right guy. But again, we're not saying that Penn State doesn't pay. It's just like Penn State's not in the top or 5 or 10 or 15 programs in the country just literally throwing money around. Did you see what Texas announced last week, what they're going to spend on there? They're going to spend between $35 and $40 million on that roster. Like, are you kidding me? Come on, man. Like, this has got to get under control because this is what's going to happen. We had warned, we had thought last year, if Ohio State won one last year as the highest paid team, you're going to have renegade crazy programs. We're going to say, oh, well, that's all it takes is $50 million, and we could do that. I mean, geez, Louise, man. I don't like seeing it because I don't like where it's going. Now, this just opens up a whole other can of worms here, Jeffrey. If it's $35 or $40 million you're spending on your NIL contract, is that coming out of your profit? So that's not going to cut into the players' profit sharing. You know what I mean? Is it all running together? We still don't have any idea how the hell it's going to be run. But you understand what I'm saying? If they're going to spend $40 million on a roster, that's the university's going to pay out this and that. Is that $35, $40 million not going to go towards the athletic program, aka profit sharing, when they get into that next year, that 28% or whatever they're talking about that number being? I don't know. I mean, is it better for the players to just split that money or get the money up front? I mean, it's again, I guess I got to get out of the way right now. I do not want Pat Kraft's job because it's a never-ending changing target, in my opinion. I mean, everything can be changed in a week or two. But $35 or $40 million for a football team, buddy, crazy to think about. So, and it's obviously what we're talking about is, the recruiting and stuff like that. It has, last year going to getting into the Final Four for Penn State. Getting into the playoffs, going to the Final Four. I think we're that program right now where it's like, okay, we need to take that next step, and I think guys want to be part of that. So I think that's recruiting is going so well. They're obviously recruiting great coaches because you have Knowles there and Kotelnicki as coordinators. Stuff is rolling. Guys are going to the NFL. I mean, we're putting 5, 6, 10, 12 guys in the NFL draft and in the draft every year. I mean, that stuff resonates with high school kids. I mean, playing big games, getting big money, big crowds, big fans, and then going to the NFL. What else? What more could you ask for?
Yeah, and I think that a couple of other things that I do think come into play, and that is, I go back to the stability that is here. There seems little doubt at the moment that James Franklin is going to be sticking around for the foreseeable future, and I do think that is a component when kids are trying to make the decision of where they want to attend college and where they want to spend the next 4 or 5 years of their career. I think Penn State is doing a good job of pointing out the connections, and certainly Penn State's not the only one. Michigan has a great alumni base. Ohio State obviously has a great alumni base. But, I mean, again, you sell the strong points of your program. And, in just about any industry that you can point to, being a Penn State football alum or a Penn State athletics alum is going to have some advantages. It's going to get you a foot in the door.
Yes.
And again, it's then up to you to finish that off and go out and show the work ethic and everything else that you need.
You were taught and you learned here at Penn State. I mean, my case in general, just me personally, I mean, I was living in Richmond, Virginia. I'm coming up on my 20-year anniversary of moving to State College. You believe that?
Crazy.
I've spent more than half my life living in State College, but I'm still not a local. Don't hassle me. I'm not a local yet. I will be. I never will be. No, sir. But I moved there. The reason I moved there from Richmond, I was doing great in Richmond, having whatever is doing well in business. But I was like, starting to get a little stagnant with business. It was growing old and stuff like that. And it was like, what is Keith Conlin from Penn State getting in Richmond, Virginia? I mean, it got you indoors and stuff like that because I'm a big guy. Oh, wow, where did you play football? That's the story and all that.
Yeah.
But you call somebody in Pennsylvania and say, hey, this is Keith Conlin. They know that name sometimes. You know what I mean? Especially around this area. So that was one of the things one of the reasons I wanted to move back here, because this was the funnest place of my life and was the greatest time of my life. And I went through a divorce living in Richmond. I was just like I said to you before, where was the last place I was happy in life? And I said, my answer was State College, Pennsylvania. And somebody said, well, what the hell's keeping you here? And I said, actually, nothing. So I did came back to school, got my master's degree and all that stuff, and here we are. A master's educated afternoon radio talk shock jock.
There you go.
Stress the shock.
Yeah. Listen, so I think Penn State, again, is it feels like, once again, momentum is on its side with the football program. And again, I would say the athletic department in general is we adjust the camera a bit here for those watching. But listen, I think that when you look at the overall picture, the success, obviously getting to the Final Four last year was a big deal. We'll see how this season plays out. Expectations are certainly sky high, and I think Penn State's okay with that. I think they're embracing it. I think you always would prefer the underdog role, but I also think you've earned the spot that you're in, where you're one of the favorites to get to the Final Four again in the upcoming season and to contend for a national title. And I think because of everything the program has been through, these players have been through, this coaching staff, such as it is comprised now, has been through, it all leads to having that opportunity. Again, nothing guaranteed. A lot of things need to play out. There's a lot of other programs that are also gunning for this being the season. And that's the fun of it, is it's competitive sports at a very high level. And yeah, there's a lot of money involved. Always has been, moving forward, always will be. And
I guess we're just seeing it more.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
The money's always been there being made, but there's a big number now. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to jump in on you, but I mean, do you think that the fact that we know what guys sort of are getting gives you any indication of what the athletic department's been making? And I see more and more of that, and I'm getting more and more like, well, what the heck were they making back in the day?
Yeah. Yeah, and again, it's everything will fluctuate in the coming years. I'm really curious to see in another few years what the agreements are with the networks, with streaming services, and kind of how all of that starts to shake out. I also think, this Michigan case, if you've not been following that, Sharon Moore has been suspended. This is self-imposed, so Michigan-imposed sanctions for the whole spying situation.
And this is
the fact
just
that this
the
is
spying.
still continuing is amazing in and of itself. But Michigan has suspended Sharon Moore for 2 games, but they have made it games 3 and 4 in the upcoming season, which I just think is hilarious to me. And now the NCAA, in theory, could still impose additional sanctions. I think we're going to start to see how little teeth the NCAA really does have anymore. And this is one of the things that I think is going to be worth watching in the next year or two, is just how much control the conferences, and in particular the SEC and the Big Ten, start to exert. And again, my guess is the NCAA knows the tenuous position it's in, and there will be no additional sanctions. Part of me wants to see the NCAA say, listen, we're imposing additional sanctions, and Moore is suspended for games 1 and 2, because I think Moore And Michigan could go to the Big Ten and say, hey, just to let you know, we don't think this is fair. If the Big Ten, and there's a lot of ifs in this equation, I understand, but if the Big Ten were to say, yeah, we agree with you, that school's been punished enough, we're getting a second coach now serving for the same crime, the 2 games is fine. If Michigan were to have the backing of the conference, and that's a big part of this equation, I think Michigan could turn around and tell the NCAA, that's interesting that you want to suspend us for 2 games. We're not doing it. More will be on the sidelines for game 1 and 2. And what is the NCAA going to do, Goon? Like, the Big Ten isn't going to sit there and allow the NCAA to supersede. Now, again, I don't know that the Big Ten would get involved in that way, but part of me would like to see it play out just so we can officially and
put the final nail in them.
Yes, and definitively say, okay, yes, the NCAA has relinquished its role as the governing body in college athletics. I would argue it already has, and it's already readily apparent, but a situation like that is what would, make it clear and definitive that now is where we are at. And one way or another, I think the NCAA is going to be obscure and like truly completely irrelevant within the next couple of years. What I don't know is do the Big Ten and the SEC and maybe the ACC and the Big 12 get together and say, all right, we're forming the College Athletics League or whatever you want to call it, and that becomes what is the governing, or do they just kind of stay in their own lanes and we have this kind of weird world where the Big Ten has its rules, where the SEC has its rules? To some degree, I don't think that works. There has to be some commonality.
Correct.
And I think some agreement within them that, all right, this is where we are putting the caps on whatever. These are the windows for the transfer portal. These are the number of opportunities that we're going to allow for roster spots. All of those things that still need to be ironed out moving forward. And listen, there's going to be disparity. There always has been, and again, always will be disparity. The question is, what can the governing body or bodies of college athletics do to keep those disparities from being completely out of hand? And again, that's different people will tell you that, well, it's already been out of hand for a long time. There's nothing that can be done now.
Yep.
But from growing even more so to where, again, in theory, you could have one school with 105 football scholarships, another with 70, trying to compete on the same field, and maybe one has 125 roster spots, another has 80 roster spots. Well, it's not. And again, this goes for sports across the board, and probably more so. I mean, I think most of the football programs that stay D1, they're going to go all in. In terms of scholarship opportunities and roster limits. Now, are they going to go all in the way an Ohio State is going all in, or a Texas or a Texas A&M? Probably not, just because they can't. They don't have the resources for it. But I think they're going to go all in terms of, all right, whatever the maximum scholarship opportunities are, we're going to provide that. Whatever the roster limit is that these programs that are at the top have, we're going to match that at the very least. I don't think that's going to be the case. It'll be the case for men's basketball as well, probably for women's basketball also, but no way that's going to be the case for sports like wrestling, even like baseball and lacrosse, where there's limited lacrosse. There's limited programs to begin with. Even like a men's volleyball or women's volleyball. Not all of these schools that have D1 women's volleyball, Goon, are going to go. I don't even know what the full limit is now with the scholarship expansion. There is no way they are all going to be matching the top level of scholarship opportunities, let alone, again, what a Nebraska or a Penn State or some of these programs are going to be able to offer in those sports when it comes to NIL and those types of opportunities versus other programs that just don't have the history, tradition, or backing.
Yeah, I mean, it's I got to give you some major league credit, brother. And that was when this NIL stuff came out and this and that. You started saying from the start, this is going to affect Olympic sports much, much, much more, where teams are going to start dropping out and going back to the Olympic, right? Is that what you call the Olympic?
Yep.
Instead of the NCAA using the Olympic platform, I guess you'd say, with non-scholarship, need and grant-based education scholarships type of thing. So you've been on that for a long time, and there's a question. I mean, we talk about like what is Purdue, Maryland, Rutgers. Do they join and jump in to this super football conference? These Northwesterns and these lesser known Big Ten programs.
Yeah,
but that's where we got to be with basketball. Are we going to go that route and go full bore, go 100%, 100% dollar for dollar into the NCAA basketball pool? We go against Kansas, Kentucky, North Carolina, and those, or are we going to step back with those programs? It's so up in the air. I don't see us doing that. I see us pushing forward and trying to be, one of the leaders in all of these sports, because I think that our athletic program right now is just really, really top notch. I mean, each sport in itself has been fantastic. I think and I hope that we would try to capitalize and monetarily, support all of these sports. But is it even possible with all
Probably
of this,
not.
with these millions of dollars that just keep? Again, Jeff, I need to be known with these extra scholarships as these, the extra 20 for football scholarships. I know football makes money. The extra 20 for wrestling, the extra 15 for baseball, softball, track. I mean, all these people get more scholarship. Where is that money coming from? And I'm not just calling out the Olympic sports. I'm calling out the, we're jumping up 20 more football scholarships. We're going from 85 to 105. And, I always say 50K is the average because of in-state, out-of-state, they'll middle it and say 50K. That's another $1 million right there. It's like we just talk about these millions and throw these millions of dollars around. It's scary and crazy how big the numbers are, and are we going to be competitive in all of these? And how much is it going to cost us versus how much we're going to make? Again, a lot of questions, Jeff.
No, and that's what everybody is trying to sort through right now. And for Big Ten schools, right, this impacts those schools substantially differently, because the SEC schools, you may be dealing with 18 programs, and that still hits you, and it's an impact, but it's a different type of impact when you're talking about 30 plus programs. If you're trying to even just go the full scholarship route. And again, I think very few of these programs in any of these sports are going to go to the full now allowance of scholarships. And I think that's going to be an interesting story to follow. Is it kind of a gentleman's agreement where it's like, hey, we're going to keep our scholarships at around 20, or whatever the number is for the different sports. It's all right. Do we generally agree? And again, it's at some point, I think this is why there has to be a new league and conference, whatever you want to call it, a super conference or a league, where they reset everything here. To me, allowing the rosters to expand once again, and it does sound like with this court settlement that we're going to have at least a gradual reduction of the rosters, that the rosters won't be down to where the NCAA has currently mandated. One of the problems right now is if you are a school with any of those programs, right as of right now, you have until June 1st. We're less than a month away from, you've got to be hard and fast with whatever that roster limit is. Very few people I'm talking to now are expecting that those numbers are actually going to be the numbers that are used here in the upcoming season. But one of the problems is And again, you'll overcome it. But if you're right now, you have to be planning for those roster cuts. There is nothing assuring you. And even if you were assured that it's going to be a different number, you don't know what that number is.
Are you talking football?
Talking, no, sports.
Okay, so
sports
football,
programs.
we have 85 Scullies right now. Probably 35 guys. We'll just say 30 guys that are walk-ons. So that's 115 guys.
Yeah.
And we need to get down to 105 Scullies, right?
No, you have to be down to 105.
I'd say there's
roster
no walk-on.
spots.
Yeah, there's only 105 because there's football.
105
there's no
roster spots by June 1st.
Okay, so
that's a challenge, and it's even more of a challenge when you think that's not actually going to be the number, but you don't know what the number is going to be. And hopefully we get a decision within the next week or so, because short of that, you've got to start making the decisions and let the decisions be known, because some of these kids, they're moving into the summer semester here, or trimester, whatever it is, summer classes. Well, if you don't have a spot, you're putting kids, coaches and kids, in very tenuous positions, because if you are, let's just say, the number 32 guy on the roster, and I don't even know how you go about determining that, because I don't think that these coaches are going to make the determinations solely on the best kids, right? I don't think that's what's going to happen. We can get into that a little
that's
bit
the question I have right now
as the show unfolds, because there are different things. It's not just athletic ability. I think a lot of people are like, well, that sucks then, because if you're not one of the top 105 players, you're off the team. I don't think that's the case. And I can pretty much guarantee you in the non-football sports, but I am very confident that it's the same with football. You're not just keeping the top 105 best athletes that you think you've evaluated. I know you're not doing it in wrestling. I doubt that you're doing it in soccer, baseball, any of these sports, because part of what you need, part of it obviously is going to be position. So if your 5 best players all happen to be outfielders, well, you got your top 3. You need other good infielders, just to take that as an example. So, but even setting that aside, part of what you want, and I think you still want, if you're a coach, is you want your GPA to be up. So you want some kids that are hard workers, that are going to be willing to be the practice guys, that realize that, yep, they're very likely never going to be starters, but really happy to be part of the Penn State program.
Scholarship now.
Really happy to be part of the whole situation. And they're guys that will go out in the community. They're willing to do a little extra work to earn the NIL, all of those things. So I think that does play in to who these coaches keep. And it's like, yeah, this guy's clearly a better athlete, but this guy, we think, brings more overall value to our program. Part of it is on the recruiting front. Hey, this guy loves Penn State. Yeah, he's not as good as this other guy, but man, he's going to sell our program when kids come in here. All of these things factor in. So one of the issues, though, at the moment is if this isn't decided quickly to me being the next week is even pushing it to me, then you're going to have coaches having to have these conversations with the kids saying, listen, we love you. We want you on the team. We got to get down to 30. And you're not one of the 30 guys right now. And so we'll help you wherever you can go. Well, then if May 26th, they make the ruling and, hey, good news, you can
40.
go to 35 for the wrestling roster. Or you can go to 40 for the baseball roster. Well, but we told the kid he's gone now. Well, that does you no good, and it does the kids a disservice. So this judge's ruling needs to happen.
Yep.
Pretty much
I got
now.
I got questions. I mean, there are I'm telling you, when I came to school here in '91, you knew there was guys on scholarship who stunk, who would never play.
Yep.
Are they dropping them? Or have we gotten to the point now where they have always said your scholarship is a 1-year employment contract with the university? This go back to the Joe days. Now, if Joe missed on a recruit, if you still stayed well in school,
Yep.
he would honor that scholarship. Now, I'm not saying that this is an anti-Joe thing or anti-Franklin thing, but like, are we going to get rid of guys now who were given scholarships 2 years ago who just they're not going to play? Are they going to pull them and say, hey, listen, you're not part of the 105? I mean, are we doing that? I mean, this is where people were fearing this was going to go, because it's like, okay, we're officially now, you're being paid now. You will be being paid by the university going forward. Do they have the right to just say, okay, well, thank you for your service, but you need to move on? Which is 90% of the time is what they tell them. Like, listen, you better go in the portal because you're never going to play here. Now, a person can be stubborn and say, well, you know what, I may not play here, but I'm going to get a degree from here.
Right.
You have, are we to that point now, or getting to that point where it's like, okay, well, we know this kid, there's a walk-on kid here who you said, great school, great student, loves the university, can probably play 2 years maybe as a walk-on, but do you turn that kid into a scholarship guy by taking something from somebody else on the team? It's, again, I go back and I remember sitting there talking to coaches when the NIL stuff came out. And it was like, hey, do we have the ability and right to get rid of guys who are not, keeping up to their end of the bargain when it comes to playing on the football field? I mean, are we to that point now? And if that's the case, we are. It's the collegiate process is gone. We are officially a professional team. If you're pulling guys that you gave scholarships to, and then you're pulling them midway through their terms here, which is, I think it stinks, but I mean, it's the way it is right now. There's only 105 spots on the team. You can't have 10 misses and just eat them. You know what I'm saying, right? I mean, am I speaking right here? Are they going to pull scholarships from guys and give them to other people and say you're not part of you're not in the top 105?
Yeah, I think the contracts that are going to be written up are going to be very, very interesting on both sides.
And you're right. I mean, there are guys who are walk-ons in this team who, okay, I will go back to, there are guys on scholarship here who are known in their first or second year that they'll never play here. It's just a known commodity. They're either a little bit hurt, they're just not fast enough, strong enough, tough enough, or good enough. And you just know it. And those guys just languish on scholarship for a couple of years and they graduate and they can move on. Or are they going to toss those guys out? Now the walk-on kids who come here, great attitudes, busting their butts on the scout teams, doing everything in the weight room, doing everything right off the field, doing everything in the school. Is that guy worth a scholarship because he's going to be a great practice player? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you got to have good practice players. You're going to only have 105. I see Todd's gloating again of being in the Dominican Republic. God bless you, my brother. I want your life, sir. But, Todd, I believe there's only 105 guys on the team with no walk-ons. So practice field will have 105 guys on it for football.
Yeah.
Now, it's different for wrestling. We've talked about this, that there will be
all of these sports are being reduced, though, in terms of the scholarship, in terms of the roster limit.
Roster limit, yes.
As of now.
But Penn State football.
This is pending the court ruling, which should be coming.
So football is only allowed 105, no walk-ons, no nothing. Now, wrestling, the big difference is there's no longer partial scholarships. You're either a full scholarship or a non-full scholarship, but you're allowed to have walk-ons in the room, right?
Yes,
okay.
But
so why would they not allow walk-ons in football?
They're capping the scholarship or the roster at 30.
Yeah.
And again, all of these sports now have hard and fast roster limits. And I think all of them, at least the overwhelming majority, but I think all of them, the roster limits are being reduced. So there are fewer spots on the roster pretty much across the board. Basketball might be an exception to that. I'll have to look into that. But I think just about every other sport will see a reduction in the number of roster spots available for student athletes in their respective sports.
I
So,
mean, you can see the smoke coming out of my head right now, but it's got me really thinking now, like, are these 1-year contracts? I mean, are you
right now? Yes,
these are a 1-year deal
been.
where it's like, okay, we might have 40 new guys next year.
That's been the case for decades and decades.
No, but I'm saying, if they miss on a recruit, would they cut? Would they just kick somebody out? Like, will they do that?
Oh, and they have done that.
Oh,
yes.
Lordy,
No, this has been going on for decades and decades. Now, again, whether or not I think, again, the lawyers are going to get involved, and we're going to have contractual arrangements, and those contractual arrangements, I think, are going to be very specific for both the student athlete and for the programs. And so there may be some things now that are written in there that, hey, no, once you assured our kiddo a spot on the roster, that spot and that scholarship is assured for 4 years, unless, and again, there's going to be, you break this rule, that rule. That, I mean, it's going to be a detailed, is my guess, a very detailed contractual arrangement. A couple of things from the comments section. The dear horse have not been following baseball that much so far. Who is? Are you guys still good with me being the correspondent for the Pirates World Series Parade in October? Of course, and very much looking forward to that. And really, as long as Paul Skeens can start pitching every day, I think the Pirates can get right back in the thick of things. Hello from Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Is there a limit
for you
on the number of players you can have on the practice squad? Yes, there is a limit. Now, that being said,
but that's for you. You're talking wrestling because
no, that's across the board.
So football is allowed to have practice squad players. I thought there's no walk-ons. I thought it's 105 scholarship and that's it.
Correct. Yes, so there is a limit.
Yeah, but
he's asking, is there a limit? Yeah, that is the limit. So now I do think it'll be interesting moving forward. But yeah, that's across all sports, football, basketball, all of those sports. I do think it'll be interesting to see, for example, Lady Lion basketball for years. I don't know if they still do this or not, but on Arini Portland, and I think it continued at least for a while, although I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me. I know under Arini, they had I'll use the term practice squad. They had guys that came in, male players, yes. University students, and they would scrimmage the Lady Lion basketball team. I mean, it was part of their practices. And I forget the exact arrangement. Rini actually explained it the one day. They weren't paid directly, but I think there were scholarship opportunities
absolutely.
There. Now, I don't think it was a full ride or anything like that, but there was an obligation on the kids' part they had to be available for the practices and all of that, and they had to be in shape and all of those things. And they got some sort of scholarship, is at least my recollection on this, was they got some sort of scholarship money toward their degree. The question from Todd is interesting in that, not right now, not for this upcoming year, but as we continue to move down this path, could there be an opportunity down the road where it's like, yes, we will. My guess is they would move back to like 85 or 90 scholarships. And then, hey, can we have another, whatever it would be, 22, 25 players that are on our practice squad, maybe not full scholarship. It's interesting. I could see some things like that being discussed down the road as they continue to move into more of the professional model. And again, different things that can be negotiated from the player's side or the student athlete's perspective versus the programs or the conferences. it's going to be it's a lot to chew on in the coming days, months, and yes, even years. Take a break here. We are coming to you live from Quaker Steak and Lube in State College. It is the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. We're coming right back.
If you're suffering from spring fever, Lion Country Kia has the cure. The Spring Fever Reliever is a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. They make it easy to choose because there's 86 brand new Kias in stock and ready to go. Lion Country Kia has 14 2025 Kia Sportages and 7 2025 Kia Sorentos available, with financing as low as 3.49% for 72 months or total savings of over $4,000. And of course, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Stop in today and check out the full Kia lineup, plus a great selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Enjoy spring in Happy Valley. Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravova Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again.
The Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
Back here on a very nice looking Tuesday afternoon in the Valley of Happiness after the weather issues from a week ago. We were off the air here with Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox last week, and appreciate folks' patience in bearing with us finally back up and running over the weekend, and now proudly bringing you Pirates baseball for the remainder of the.
Hey, Skeens pitches today.
Yep, taking on the Cardinals tonight. 7:45 start, 7:20 airtime as the beloved Buccos look to snap a now 5-game losing skid.
Started with him.
Yep.
I watched that game Thursday.
Yeah,
he got lit up pretty good in the early part of that game. Very odd to see, but I do enjoy watching that man pitch.
Yeah, Padres, my kiddos team, getting a good win over the Yankees last night, so we were full-throated in our support of the Padres in that game. Dodgers, I think, are just a half game in front of San Diego. Padres are having a heck of a season. And Aaron Judge, Goon, this is not the worst start we've seen a superstar have in Major League Baseball.
I saw a thing the other day where it's like National League MVP is 33 games in of 162 games.
I think he's already got a lot.
Yeah, and they said the American League it's Judges to lose, and you're like, geez, I mean, what did he do? Holy crap, man!
Yeah, it is. It's ridiculous.
I say it every time we talk about him. You know how old he is? He is the same age as Mike Trout. And you talk about a guy who bloomed early versus a guy who bloomed late.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Trout had won 3 MVPs and came in second twice before Judge was even in the league.
Well, and so this is...
He's fun to watch, man.
I didn't necessarily... that veers into, I think, an interesting discussion.
Okay.
And we'll circle back to James Franklin here, because... to some degree, I think our society has always been we want that immediate gratitude. I think it has just increased over the years, where it's like, man, if we don't get immediate success, all right, we're a failure and we move on. You see some of the surveys of what college kids are expecting when they enter the job market. And listen, some of them will get it. I understand that. There's always the phenoms and, people that fall into the right situations and all of that. But the overwhelming majority of kiddos expecting to be making, in some cases, I mean, I've seen these surveys, it's like, oh no, I expect to be making 7 figures right out of the gate. It's like, what? And there's just that level of expectation. Well, going to the sports world, both from players and from coaches, and I've talked about this, that it's the good and the bad of having those phenoms. And in a sport like wrestling, again, we're seeing more and more kids that are ready to compete at the highest level right when they enter high school.
Yep.
It used to be where, I mean, you might have 1 or 2 guys a year, maybe, that could do that. Well, now every year there's 20, 30, 40 kids that come in right out of the gate and like, wow, man, that guy is right there. He's in the mix for the, contending for All-America or even national title honors. That it's just wild the way that has changed. And it's that way in a lot of sports. And again, a lot of different reasons for it, a lot more specialization at younger ages, a lot more top-tier coaching that is accessible to folks across the country, a lot more top-tier competitions you can go to, no matter where you're living at in the country. All of those things and other things factor in. YouTube and the fact that you can go watch and learn just from videos that are posted by experts all over the place, yep, that's a factor too. So all of those things come into play. But it is possible. And I know, folks, that guy's a bum, man. We thought he was going to be good. He just finished up his true freshman year. Yeah. Well, yeah, but no, I can see already. Folks, it does happen where it takes a little while. You look at Russ Rose. I think most would agree, the best women's volleyball coach to this point in history. Absolutely phenomenal. He didn't win his first national title, folks, until and I should have looked this up. It was well into his coaching tenure, because I've seen this stuff with James Franklin. Well, I mean, my God, we're a decade in now. We're 13 years in. Well, okay. But now he has it rolling. You look at a guy like Bill Belichick, a guy like Nick Saban, a lot of these, like the super successful guys, the guys that we think of as the top, go look at their first 10 years in the profession. And you tell me that, well, yeah, no, I knew they were going to be, because I saw by the fact that he wasn't winning in Cleveland that he was going to go on and be a phenom and put it exactly. It takes a while. It is trial and error. And yes, are there phenoms out there? Are there coaches that come in right away? And that, yep, there are. I don't deny that. What I'm telling you is the fact that somebody isn't successful right out of the gate. You can apply it to other aspects of your life. There are broadcasters that it's like, man, for 10 years, they were struggling, didn't really know. And then, man, it clicks. They get in the right spot. They get the right co-host. It's like, wow, that's a phenom. Well, it was a phenom 10 years in the acting business. It happens. Again, are there phenoms, kid actors that make it right away? Yep, there are. There's also people that they don't get their first break till they're like 35. And then, well, man, but they're fantastic.
Let's talk Joe Pa. I mean, there was the anti-East stigma. I get it, but he didn't win a national title for 16 seasons.
Yeah, although having
three undefeated
seasons.
But I mean,
what's
the knock on James? Big game James. Big guy, can't beat the big guy. Joe never beat Bear. Yeah, in his career, he never beat Bear Bryant.
Yeah,
and they didn't play once or twice. They played 5 or 6 times. But yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, it's weird. I'm going to go back to my career here. And as I was telling somebody this weekend, we were talking about it, how it's tough for a person like me who came in here. My brother was an All-American here 6 years before. So I remember somebody telling me, he's like, they expected you to walk in here and be your brother the day he left. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, that's the expectations that some people have on kids sometimes. And it's like, this is not how it works. I needed my time to fall, to fail, to get embarrassed, and then to build my own character, to see how I could come back from that. I wasn't Buck Conlin from day one. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, we had a lot of similarities, but what this guy said to me, he goes, they expect you to come here and be your brother the day he left. And I was like, holy crap, that's probably right. Because I was getting pressure like, come on, you're not that good. Why aren't you, and I'm like, dude, first of all, I never played offensive line in my life. And now I'm playing offensive line in Division I football. So you need to teach me a little bit better. But get up,
no, I think that's a great,
there's expectations for guys like that. And there are late developing people.
Yep.
Later developing people. I know that, my physical characteristics is when I stopped growing. When I was 6'7", 6'8", I stopped growing height-wise, and I could actually fill in.
Yeah.
And then I learned how to use my body to my advantage. When I was a younger guy, I was tall and lanky. I didn't know how to use my body. I was just looking over people, grabbing people and stuff, not playing the correct football game. So, I mean, you say acting, you say life in general. There's people who get it together later. Some people see it and get it early, and then right place, right time. Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts is the quarterback of the Chicago Bears, is he having the success he's having right now? And if Caleb Williams is the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, does he have success? Are people downing him and not winning? And he's only it's like, come on, man. He's playing for one of the worst teams in the league. He's getting absolutely destroyed. Is he not better than in Jalen Hurts? I mean, Jalen Hurts that much better because Jalen has the best running back, best offensive line, best receivers in the league. Come on, man. I mean, there's a huge difference in, where you go and, how patient they are with you. And, there is a bit of luck to that. No doubt about it. But that's life in general,
Yes. And so much of it is, getting that right chemistry, getting the right match of coach and player, organization and player, all of those things.
You're right. It's so unbelievably true about Bill Belichick. Like, is he Bill Belichick without Tom Brady? And is Tom Brady without Bill Belichick? I'm interested to see how he does at North Carolina.
Well, and
be
again,
honest with you.
you look at Nick Saban's
Yeah.
coaching trajectory.
dude.
Like,
Wow.
and listen, do I think he was a good coach all along? Yes. I think there's a ton of really good coaches that if they had fallen into the right situation that could have had very similar success to Nick Saban. It was, and that's not, that is not faulting Nick Saban.
No.
I think Nick Saban learned, applied his lessons,
Absolutely.
but he also went to, a program that had everything in place and provided all of the support. Again, I've said many times, I think Cale Sanderson and that staff, Cale, Cody, and Casey, I think that group I would put up against any coaching staff in the history of sports. Across the board in terms of their technical coaching, in terms of creating the culture we're talking about, in terms of evaluating talent, everything. I think they are top-notch across the board. I also think if you took Cale Sanderson and that staff and put them in Lock Haven and gave them the resources that Scott Moore had, do I think they'd be very good and very successful? Yep. But there's no way they're going to be matching what Iowa or Oklahoma State are doing if they had the resource. Again, I'm saying the same resources that Lock Haven currently has, where they can't even give the 9.9 scholarships. Again, I think they're at 5 or 5.5, whatever it is. Well, no. And so now part of why they're successful and to the degree they did is they wanted they were looking to create that match of the right opportunity. So I get it. And they had the credentials to be able to be sought after by a program like Penn State, and it all clicked. But again, you can have the greatest coach in the history of whatever sport you're in, and if there's not the backing, they're not in a situation where they can do what they want to do in terms of their coaching style, you're not going to have that type of success.
Or a person who comes from a program and goes to another program and doesn't have the same facilities, and he doesn't know how to coach. He doesn't know how to do that. Like, great idea, great putting Cale on his staff in that, because like you could put them in a basement and they're going to teach those kids how to wrestle. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. How they don't need all the bells and whistles, but some guys need the bells and whistles. So back to Saban. I know we're going to hit a break up here, but he wasn't going to be Michigan State's head coach, right?
Yeah.
Who was it? Fran Ganner.
Yeah.
Our offensive coordinator here for 40 years. That was his job, and he took it one night, slept on it, and woke up the next morning and said, I'm going to pass on it.
Yep.
And then they gave it to Nick Saban. Think about that. Nick Saban is, does he have, he didn't have great success with Michigan State, but he left Michigan State and went to LSU. He must have been doing something right.
Yeah.
Goes to LSU, wins a national title, but heck of a coach, heck of a person, isn't that? But he got lucky. Fran Ganner turned the job down. He was not going to be offered that Michigan State job. So does his coaching trajectory stay the same if he doesn't go to Michigan State and goes to Iowa, Kansas, somewhere like that?
Yeah, there's so many things like that in sports where everybody's obviously on their own path, and you'll never know. Right, it's just like, well, if this recruit went to this school instead of that one, does that school's trajectory change? Does the athlete's trajectory change? But do we know to the extent on either front? No, and that's what's
there's a lot that goes into it, man,
for sure, and especially in a sport like football, Goon, where again, there's just so many moving parts. When you talk about either a college, Division I, top-end college program, or an NFL organization, ownership or leadership in the athletic department at the AD, that's obviously critical. Head coach is certainly a vital role, but there's so many other things that come into play. And again, getting that right quarterback for the offensive coordinator you have, for the offensive lineman that you're recruiting and have brought in. The league you're playing in, right? Different leagues, there's kind of different needs depending on the league you're in. And then obviously you're trying to compete at the highest level. So, all right, we need to win our league, but we also need something that can translate into beating teams, the top teams from other leagues. Like it's just fascinating, all of the different things. And, I think it's part of why patience for a guy like James Franklin at a program like Penn State, where, again, I'm not even saying there was necessarily things pulling wildly in different directions, but I don't think everything really synced up here until Pat Kraft came in and there were discussions and everybody, it's like, all right, this is what we need. All right, this is what you're going to get. And you feel comfortable and confident about what everybody within the program is doing. Like, that's a big part of the equation. And even that doesn't assure you success. You still need a little luck on the injury front and everything else. And you still need, again, everybody that's buying in. You need the right leadership, all of the different things that go into creating that championship type of run.
How about, I know you and I have been traveling this and that, off the air last week with the Puckos and then some power outages and stuff like that. So I don't think we had a chance to talk about it. But I believe it may have been a state media interview with Franklin and Knowles. Yeah. Did you hear what James said about Pat? And he goes, this would not have happened had Pat not been, forward thinking and quick on his feet and making this happen, because people before him, they were not like that. And I was like, whoa, that's a pretty bad shot at Sandy right there. You know what I mean? I mean, you've never heard James take a shot at. I've never heard. Maybe you have. I don't think I've ever heard him take a shot at Sandy like that. But he said Knowles was there. It was something that we targeted, and we have an athletic director who went out and got he got the number and got the job done. He goes, it was a lot faster than we've moved in the past, and I love the way he moves.
Yeah, and listen, I don't even know. Certainly, you can construe it as a shot at Sandy. Yeah. I think more so. I think more so it is a compliment to Kraft. It's like, well, this is the way things had been done, and now it's different and more aligned with what James Franklin feels he needs for success, for ultimate success for the program. Again, there's a lot of different ways you can get there. There's a lot of different ways you can set up your program, a lot of different ways you can go about your business. What you need is everybody feeling good, or, again, I don't know that you have 100% from every single person involved with the program. That's ideal. But I mean, that everybody within the program feels like, oh yeah, nope, this is right. We're moving in the direction we need to be moving in. And we feel good about the way we're going about it. All of that stuff is important, and it's a lot easier to talk about, to say, than to actually get everybody moving and lining up in that same direction. Take a break here. We're back with much more. It is the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
If you're suffering from spring fever, Lion Country Kia has the cure. The Spring Fever Reliever is a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. They make it easy to choose because there's 86 brand new Kias in stock and ready to go. Lion Country Kia has 14 2025 Kia Sportages and 7 2025 Kia Sorentos available, with financing as low as 3.49% for 72 months or total savings of over $4,000. And of course, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Stop in today and check out the full Kia lineup, plus a great selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Enjoy spring in Happy Valley. Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dropable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again.
The Fox, your sports radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA Sports Authority. WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And we begin our second hour of the big show here on Tuesday. We'll be back Thursday. No Pirates on Thursday. They interrupted us, would have interrupted us this past Thursday had Mother Nature not gone ahead and taken care of business in that regard. And but no Pirates on Thursday. I think we can all rejoice in having a day off from the Pirates and what they are putting out there. And so we will be here full throttle for Thursday's show back here at Quaker Steak and Lube from 2 to 4. Speaking of immediate gratification and I would say substantial overreaction to not immediate success, Bo Nickel in his UFC fight, the Mad Turtle and I actually we both fell asleep on the couch and then woke up before Bo's fight. So we sat there on the couch together. My wife was out of town and we watched Bo's fight. And then I watched the next fight. Mad Turtle went back to sleep, but I fell asleep very shortly thereafter. But just happened, we woke up and Mad Turtle looked at me. I'm like, Bo's getting ready to fight here. He's like, oh, okay. And so we watched it. Disappointing result for sure if you're a Bo Nickel fan. But just a couple of things about it. One is we talk about it a lot in wrestling, and Kale Sanderson talks about the you want to be able to learn from wins, and you certainly can learn from wins. But losses sometimes it hits different. Like you really learn when you lose, and I think any athlete will tell you that. Like, yeah, we try to learn. You sit down and you analyze. You go into the film room whether you win or lose. Hey, this play worked. This is what you did well. This is you missed a block here. You didn't catch the ball there. This is why you need to adjust your hands. You need to adjust your technique, whatever it is. And you do that and you try to improve regardless. It just hits different when it is a loss. When you win, it's like, oh yeah, man, misblocked. Boy, that was I need to learn from
those little things that you let go in a win. You're like, we're all right. We still won.
Yeah, it just doesn't hit you the same, right? It just doesn't. And so, do I think Bo Nickel, with the attitude he has and with the work ethic that guy brings, do I think he is going to be substantially better moving forward as a result of this? I do. I just think he is a guy that is very analytical, very competitive, very driven, and I think this loss will just hit different, and he'll learn differently from it. Now, one of the things that, and I thought his coach, I don't know if you read, I saw the, I don't know if it was even a tweet or just a quote, but he put out comment on the fight. And one of the things that he was talking about was the lack of the combat experience that Nickel has. Nickel's first 4 fights were kind of designed to get him moving up. And so he never really took any punishment in those fights. This one Saturday night, he took punishment. I mean, those knees to the midsection, it hurt watching. And so, and his coach said something to the effect of, that's one of those things, like, you can train and spar, but until you get into an actual fight and feel it in that situation, you can't really know. And it's kind of like, the only thing I could think of that immediately came to mind is, it's like, okay, you're coming up through minor league baseball and you're seeing the pitching and you can simulate it. Maybe there's even a guy that can throw 96, 97 miles an hour. And it's like, man, that's what that looks like. Until you see and feel a guy throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastball, like, you can't really, like, it's just different stepping in the batter's box with that coming at you. There's nothing that can really prepare you for that. And I'm sure, you've talked about it, Goon. It's just a different speed in football at the Division I level from any high school football, and certainly different from the D1 level at the NFL. It's just a leap. And until you make it, you can prepare as best you can, but you can't feel that until you feel it. And so I just think Bo Nickel, I think there's been a lot of overreaction. DeRitter is a terrific fighter, had a great game plan, executed it very well. And I think it's a great learning opportunity. Bo Nickel is still in the very formative stages here of his UFC career. I think he's going to be just fine. I think my guess is he still ends up being a UFC champion at some point, but it's a setback, and in some ways maybe a necessary setback, because I do think the lessons learned from Saturday night will be applied. And I think he learned more from that and will benefit more from that experience than he did in the first. Now I'm forgetting if that was the 7th or if that was the 8th, and he had some, whatever, first 6 or 7 fights of his career combined is just my guess.
Well, I mean, I think he's going to learn how hard those knees to the liver feel, and will work his tail off to protect himself against that going in the future, because you're not practicing that. You are not. You can go live all you want on this and that, but you're not going that live. And all I saw was replays, but they were some vicious little kicks there, man. And I wouldn't say little at that. But, but he's going to learn. There's no doubt about it. I've played and I've coached, and my biggest thing I ever talked about was you learn more from a loss than you do from a win. And that I will stand by that 1,000,000%. Yeah. That what you can learn as a from a loss, how to get that. Like I said, earlier when I interrupted you earlier, with like when you look at the little stuff, when you win, you let that stuff go. Like, hey, your hands were outside. There's going to come a time when you need to get those hands inside, but you still won, so you're not thinking about that. But now that you lose, you look at every aspect of it. And the old man Joe was fantastic and crazy about that type of stuff. With where the little stuff, the little stuff takes care of the big stuff. If you take care of all the little things, that take care of the big thing. All that huge stuff, and I'm a big proponent of that in everything, but especially in sports and in Bo could have done this or deflected this, but you know, it doesn't register until you lose, and then it's like, okay, now you got to look at everything and say, okay, I lost it here, and I got to fix this, and hey, not everybody's always been undefeated. I don't think anybody's been ever undefeated. I've never not had a loss in life. So it depends on how he grows from that to where he goes next in life in his next fight. I mean, I don't think he's going to get out of the game, right? I mean, I think he's a competitive, crazy dude. He's all in.
Yeah. No, I think again he'll learn from it. I think it'll be. My guess is in a couple of years, or certainly 5-10 years from now, he'll talk back about the importance of that loss in kind of setting the stage for the progress that he made from there moving forward. We'll take a short break here. We're back with much more. It is the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
If you're suffering from spring fever, Lion Country Kia has the cure. The Spring Fever Reliever is a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. They make it easy to choose because there's 86 brand new Kias in stock and ready to go. Lion Country Kia has 14 2025 Kia Sportages and 7 2025 Kia Sorentos available, with financing as low as 3.49% for 72 months or total savings of over $4,000. And of course, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Stop in today and check out the full Kia lineup, plus a great selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Enjoy spring in Happy Valley. Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dropable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again,
Your sports radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA Sports Authority. WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College. The Goon and Ironhead.
And we are back here at Quaker Steak and Lube on this Tuesday afternoon. Look at that, sunshine and everything.
Yeah, it's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon, let me tell you.
It is,
Yeah.
man. We have not had a lot of afternoons like what we have out there right now. Joel Slagan joining us here at Quaker Steak and Lube from Timberland Federal Credit Union, and very happy to have you as a sponsor of the show, and happy to have you in here this afternoon. I know you're a big sports fan across the board, but wanted to have you in to talk specifically about a big golf tournament coming up here at the end of the month.
Yes, absolutely. First and foremost, thanks for having me. This is a show I watch quite often, and I'm not just saying that. I really do. It's a great show, so it's an honor to be on here. So thanks for that. Big golf tournament, May 31st. Tee time is 1:00. It's $300 for a team up to 4 people, which is great.
That's amazing.
It's one of the cheapest around. So
by a good measure.
Oh yeah, and the prizes are insane. I just took some notes here so I don't mess it up. But first place team splits $1,000. Second place splits $500. Third place, you get your $300 back.
Nice.
And then there's a whole bunch of other prizes: Chinese raffle baskets, longest drive, longest putt.
Love it.
All the typical, golf scramble kind of stuff. So we're excited. Again, it's May 31st, and we're teeing off at 1:00, and that is at the Country Club in Boalsburg.
And if folks are interested in signing up, how do they go about it?
So they're actually just go right on our website, and it'll kind of guide you right there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And are you in need of sponsors or volunteers at all?
Yes, and yes.
Figured there was an outside chance.
We'll always take more sponsors for sure.
Yeah.
And we do need more teams. So we're trying to cap it at 20 at the most.
Okay.
18 would be ideal because we just don't like, all the weight.
Yeah.
So, so we still need a couple more teams, and we need like $1 million more in sponsorships.
There you go.
Yeah.
Understood. And volunteers, people if not wanting to golf but would like to help out.
We won't turn away any help.
Yeah.
None at all. So anyone who would love to volunteer, it's a great opportunity. You're out on a golf course. I mean, hopefully we get a day like this. It's beautiful out there.
Yes. We need more days like this.
We sure do.
Moving forward, and certainly on May 31st, Mother Nature, just a little help here.
Fingers crossed.
What's while we have you in a few minutes, what's catching your eye in the world of sports right now? It's just such an interesting time in the world of college sports, but boy, there's just a lot of things breaking right now, and it's just been fascinating to watch.
There's a whole lot going on. There really is. There's a whole lot. This is the time that you're hearing all sorts of you got the NFL picking up people, getting rid of people, that kind of stuff. I got to throw out Go Birds. I don't think that's going to impress a lot of your Pittsburgh fans, but go Birds.
Hey.
I said it a second time.
Yep, it was great having you. I'll see you some other time.
Love it. Of course, I love Penn State. So following what they're doing, we are.
Indeed.
So that's always really cool to
now. Goon and I weren't. Did you have the opportunity to go to the Blue-White game?
I did not go this year. No.
Yeah, it was a different experience for the people I've talked to. Obviously, different format, but with that the West Side being what it is, it's just been interesting talking to people. It's like, yeah, it definitely had a different feel to it, aside from no TV coverage and kind of zipping through it. But yeah, I wasn't sure if you had the opportunity to be up there or not. It is going to be an interesting season.
So what are your thoughts on it? I'm curious to hear, because I didn't watch today's shows because I'm on my way here, and I don't know if you guys talked about it earlier, but what do you see the season?
Yeah, listen, I think both Goon and I it'll shock our followers to know that we're both bullish. It's been quite a while since we weren't bullish on this team, but it's really hard not to be optimistic right now about what this team can do in the upcoming season. It just, each of the last couple of years, to me, kind of continue to build into this. But when you have a veteran quarterback, that is a nice place to be. And a veteran talented quarterback, that's a nice place to start. Having a veteran good offensive line, that's not a bad second piece of the puzzle to have in there. But really, for me, you need all of the components. We were just talking about it. To have a championship run, you need everything. Yes, pulling together and feeling like it's coming together.
And I'm sure Goon probably touched on the defense.
And well, he's all about it. Yeah, he says the offensive line, you can win, or that doesn't much.
Well,
matter.
defense wins games.
Defense
wins the games.
Well, and listen, I think having Jim Knowles, the more you're reading about Jim Knowles and I'm very excited about the hire to begin with. Very impressed with what he's done. But in listening to the players now talk about the schemes and the way he fits stuff together. And listen, I've followed him and read some and looked at diagramming plays at Ohio State, but it hits different when it's the team you're covering or the team you're following now. But he does have just a next level understanding of the game, and I think an ability to relate the game and the different components to it to the players. It's one thing to have the mind that, this is what that should look like. It's another to get the players to have an understanding. And I think the fact that they have some veterans in key spots there, but also I'm excited to see what both sides of the ball.
It's going to be a great year.
Yeah, I think because I think they have, and I thought they had it last year. I thought they had two elite coordinators this year. If anything, I think they've upgraded in both, just because Kotelnicki has that year under his belt and knows and understands the personnel here. And again, Knowles, I just think is the guy when it comes to defensive coordinators in college football. But I really do think they just across the board right now have a great fit. The wide receiver position is still the one I'm most concerned about, but I think getting this kid from Syracuse and the other two transfers that they have in, I'm optimistic with Kotelnicki and with Aller and with that offensive line and the tight ends and the running backs that part will come together at least well enough to allow them to be right in the mix again for a national title. Now, none of that guarantees anything.
No, of course not. But I'll tell you what, Aller, I think this is going to be his year. This is going to be his blow-up year.
Well, I'll tell you.
He's going to knock him down.
Yeah, I was listening to Joe Ludnowski earlier today, and on our airwaves show runs from noon to 2, and they were talking about Jim Knowles and the impact that he's having defensively, but also the impact that he can have on the offense, and Drew Aller in particular, and talking about like all quarterbacks, Aller's different when he gets pressured. Tom Brady was different when he got pressured. Take whoever you think is the greatest quarterback in NFL history. When they were pressured, they're different. Yeah. But what Jim Knowles is doing is being able to talk through, hey, this is what we were doing against you when we were at Ohio State. We had those guys. And, hey, man, if you just dropped off here instead of looking – and I really hadn't thought about it, and they said they read a piece, and I'm not even sure now where the piece was from, so my apologies. I should be giving credit to the person that started the conversation, but I'm listening to them talking about it, and there's talk in that Penn State locker room about Knowles bringing that ability now for Aller to know, all right, this is how you can, if not beat what we were doing, at least be more effective. Sure. And listen, no matter how good your offensive line, you get in those elite games, you're going to face some pressure here or there. Well, being able to know, hey, yep, this is where this is what they're trying to do. This is where it's coming from. And this is what's available to you. Take advantage of that. And I think he now, with the experience he has, having gone through this for the last couple of years, is going to be able to take any constructive criticism and like, oh, yeah, cool, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Got it. I think it's going to be do. I really do.
I mean, circling back to how you started the segment here is, it's all the components. All the components. And it's how he will react to the pressure, how the O-line will protect him.
Yep.
And I think we got a good O-line. I think we got a good quarterback. I think I'm with you. I am overly optimistic. Is this going to be a bang-out year for Penn State? We are.
Yeah, it just does. Yeah, Goon doesn't want me making any predictions because my predictions blow up.
Here's in my boat.
100% of the time. It's only been about 99.8%.
If you ever want a losing pick, ask me who's going to win. Okay, because I lose all the time.
Well, you and I should not be hanging out at the casino together. Is what we're learning here today. Go over the details here for the golf.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Thank you. May 31st at the Timberland Federal Credit Union Golf Classic. It is up to a 4-man scramble for $300. Again, that's May 31st. Tee time is 1:00. Really, really good prizes. If you're paying $300 to get in, there's a top prize of $1,000 for a team to split. Second is $500. Third is $300. Lots and lots of other prizes, including longest putt, or longest drive, shortest putt.
Yep.
I think that's pretty much it.
And again, it's at Mountain View, May 31st. Yes. And folks can get more information and sign up where?
Go to www.timberlandfcu.org.
Joel, appreciate it.
Anything
else that I didn't ask that you wanted to get out there today?
No.
Okay.
I think that pretty much sums it up.
We appreciate it.
Thanks again for having me on.
Nope, thank you.
All
and the Dear Goon will rejoin us on the other side of this timeout. You're listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
If you're suffering from spring fever, Lion Country Kia has the cure. The Spring Fever Reliever is a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. They make it easy to choose because there's 86 brand new Kias in stock and ready to go. Lion Country Kia has 14 2025 Kia Sportages and 7 2025 Kia Sorentos available, with financing as low as 3.49% for 72 months or total savings of over $4,000. And of course, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Stop in today and check out the full Kia lineup, plus a great selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Enjoy spring in Happy Valley. Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning.
If you're suffering from spring fever, Lion Country Kia has the cure. The Spring Fever Reliever is a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. They make it easy to choose because there's 86 brand new Kias in stock and ready to go. Lion Country Kia has 14 2025 Kia Sportages and 7 2025 Kia Sorentos available, with financing as low as 3.49% for 72 months or total savings of over $4,000. And of course, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Stop in today and check out the full Kia lineup, plus a great selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Enjoy spring in Happy Valley. Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dropable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again.
The Fox,
your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA Sports Authority. WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox. State College.
The Goon and Ironhead.
And we are back here on, again, a darn nice-looking Tuesday afternoon. And you are listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here from Quaker Steak and Lube. Again, Pirates baseball rolling your way tonight. 7:15 will be the airtime. The Buccos trying to snap a 5-game losing streak as they take on the Cardinals again in St. Louis. And, yep, some hope for Pittsburgh because it will be Paul Skeens on the mound this evening.
He's not bad. He's not bad. I know you just had an interview with Joel over here, so yeah, Joel's a good guy. I mean, I got involved with this golf tournament. It is a Saturday. It's right after the the Coaches vs. Cancer weekend, so we'll have some of my friends will be out there playing. They've been a great sponsor. I mean, I've got nothing but great phone calls from people about that commercial appearance I made for Timberland Federal Credit Union. I mean, they were like, they didn't know if it was like
your acting chops were on full display,
like Jack Nicholson or Goon or Tom Hanks out there. It was like one of those things. They had no idea. They could just see it. The acting chops just come out. And it's just like you can't hide them.
But you bought into I was thinking more like Daniel Day-Lewis. Like
exactly.
You were walking around like for days in the character.
Chasing people in costumes is what I was doing. Yep.
Yes.
I was
no doubt.
Chasing mascots and stuff. So, Joel's been very good to us, as all of our sponsors have over the last 5-6 years. Been really good to us. But, I wanted him to talk a little bit on the air there, but, his kid's a freshman at Kansas right now, so Joel's been out there. Now he's a Kansas basketball fan.
There you go.
So Joel's a Delaware County guy, and his wife Stacy there from down there, and big Eagle, Phillies, Flyers fans, all of that stuff. So that's where our connection came from and stuff like that. But we went over to the new store over there in Pleasant Gap, and we were pleasantly surprised at how beautiful it is and how easy they are to work with. I mean, they truly, truly are. I mean, I said it that day that we were on the air. I do work with them, and it's like the old school when your mom and your dad or my mom and dad or grandparents walked into a bank, everybody knew your name. You knew everybody's name in that bank, and if there was an issue with something like, hey, I have to have this house appraised, I got to have it at this level, they're going to be like, oh, well, talking to a big bank, it's like, well, you got to hit a certain number or it's not going to happen. But they take into account what you do to it, what kind of person you are. They have that hometown feel to their banking, and that's why they're being successful what they're doing. That's why Joel is doing great with that company. So we'll be there for that golf tournament for sure. I don't know if you're in town or not, Ironhead. I don't know if I'm actually going to be
not
stalking people on golf holes or
there you go,
or actually in a golf cart playing. But Mountain View, I don't know, man. I got married there. Little dear place in my heart right there to go out there and play. But I mean, there's a guy I wanted to talk to him a little bit too. Like, we're talking about traditions and stuff like that, how hard it is to break traditions and, move on to the next. Joel spent years in the U.S. Navy. Now, you talk about a corporation or an organization that is set in their tradition and in their ways and having to move, I always laugh because I remember Bill O'Brien. We were talking earlier about how, James was, quite satisfied at how fast the athletic department moves nowadays. But if you remember Bill O'Brien said in 2010 or 2012, 12 or 13, he goes, I come from an organization that is run like a Ferrari. Like, if you want all new, linebacker pads, they're going to be there the next morning. So I come from an organization that moves as fast as an iceberg, and that's Penn State. But that's how big business is and big business works and stuff like that. So everybody's got to learn to middle out there and all that and go from there. So I got an honest question for you, Ironhead.
All right.
I said
I may have an
off
honest
the air
answer.
I don't know if we were on the air or off the air, but I said I got a question for you, Jeff.
Yeah.
And that is that you've dealt with, I had to deal with the last 5-6 years, 6 to the last 10, 12 years, and that is a bad hockey team. Are you watching any of the playoffs? Even though your Penguins are out, my Flyers are out, I still catch myself getting interested in the hockey games.
Yeah, not as much as I'm very much interested in following it. Well, yeah, but not so. The Mad Turtle is in Little League, and it's obviously the weather has been playing havoc with the Little League schedule, as it is with all outdoor sports schedules here this last month or so. So, but he is really getting into baseball now, which is fun to see. So,
watching.
While I would be tuning out more of the Pirates than I am, even as it is, to check out some of the hockey action, I'm following it closely, but I am not watching it the way I normally would. We're watching a lot of where we can find the Padres. We're following the Padres, and he's really becoming interested in catcher. He's caught the last couple of years, but I would say our overall understanding and the degree that we were into it was, and which is fine. He was 8 years old, 7 and 8 years old. He's 9 now, and he really is wanting to learn some of the nuance of the position and what to do in this situation and that situation, and watching major league catchers, and we're watching the different stances, the different ways that they're blocking the plate and all of that. So it's been fun. But long way of saying, no, I'm not watching the hockey anywhere near as much as it
depends when.
Well, no, even as I normally would, regardless of whether the Pens were in or not.
So did you play catcher as a kid?
No.
Really?
Yep.
I did not. I'd have pegged you for a catcher.
Nope. Never had any interest in it.
I loved it?
I was an infielder.
I
loved
it because you're a tall ass infielder then for
in those days I was pretty average.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So I loved catching because I felt like I was in the play every play.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and that's why I got into it. And I mean, I'm pretty sure Reg and I have the same, 3-letter ADD, ADHD, all this stuff. And all.
Yeah.
I mean, but putting me behind the plate and in control of the game and being involved in the game and you're just doing all this and looking at everything that's going on at the count, dealing with the umpire. I loved it. Absolutely loved baseball. Loved catching.
Yep. Yeah, he does too. And I think, that he gets hyper-focused on one thing at a time. And right now, catching is it, and it's great. But it's an advantage when you're when you're locked in on it, the way he is. And it's fun to see. Again, we'll see what comes of it, but he is really into it right now, and it's been fun to see and follow along. That being said, the NHL playoffs have been spectacular.
They really have.
I mean, we talk about it. There's just nothing like the drama of Game 7 to begin with, let alone you have goals scored with literally the waning seconds to tie the
down
game.
Down to 3:23 to go,
OT.
Empty net, and you tie the game.
All of that
0
stuff.
time, and
crazy.
It's just amazing. I love watching it. I just love the fandom, the players and stuff like that. And I gotta say, it was my favorite tradition in sport. Was the handshake line. I have a new favorite thing in sports, and that's the wrestling shoes on the court, on the mat.
Yeah,
I think that is one of the coolest traditions I think I've ever seen. It is. That's why I like it. I like it better. But I love the handshake line. You just spend 6, 7, 5, however many games, just literally trying to kill each other. And there's definitely some stuff that goes on earlier in the series that if it doesn't get dealt with, it's going to be overlying. But at the end of that game, the whistle blows. These guys just shake their hands and say good luck to the next game and stuff like that. And that's what makes hockey just a great sport. I just love watching it. And the skill has just gone through the ceiling through the roof in the last 10 years.
For sure.
I mean, craziness, man.
No, it is. It's great stuff. I'm watching. They have down here. Can Mason Rudolph lead the Steelers to a winning record?
I mean, honest to God, where are you with Aaron Rodgers right now? Are you just like, dude, out? I'm out. I don't care. Mason Rudolph's leading my team.
Well,
I'm done with this bull.
Here's the thing. Yes, but, and it's a big but, is if he comes in tomorrow and says, "Yep, I'm siding with you." Like,
when is that date? When is that going to be too late?
I don't know, but the options right now, and listen, I really am really happy with that Will Howard pick. I think we talked about. I've been talking about it with a lot of people.
I'm sure you are.
Because of where they got him in the draft. Yeah, I can't remember now what all I've talked about on air, off air, but the Will Howard selection, where they got him, is, in my opinion, phenomenal. Very low risk and the potential for very big reward. That being said, I don't think Will Howard comes in right away and is the guy that, there's, again, I don't think he's going to be Jaden Daniels right out of the gate, leading his team in that way. But I think he has the potential to be the guy for the long term and to be an upper echelon NFL quarterback. I really do. And again, for where you got him in the draft,
sure.
But championship pedigree, chip on the shoulder, all of the things that that you want in terms of the intangibles in the quarterback. And listen, I think he's got good size. He's got a good arm.
Decision making.
I think this could end up being like one of the real steals.
Who's remind you of
in this draft?
I'm not going to say Tom Brady because you don't want me to say that. You know what I mean? I don't want anybody to say that. Compare them to Tom Brady.
No,
well, you know who I compare him to?
Huh?
Who's getting paid right now is Brock Purdy.
Yeah, and listen, I do think he has the. I think he has the tools to be a very good NFL quarterback, and
that'd be great.
He's in an organization that I think is a good fit. You know, he's back home basically, which is, again, I think can be a very comforting type of thing, and give you all the more reason to, I want to be the Steelers quarterback. Like, this is a big deal, even more than anywhere else, I think, for him. So I love it. I do think, yes, I'm tired of Aaron Rodgers and the shenanigans. But that being said, again, if he signs later tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to be like, that's a good signing because it's a better option than anything you have right now. Now, this time a year from now, maybe I'm like, nope, Will Howard's the guy. Let's get him out there and maybe even by the end of this year. But I think Aaron Rodgers right now is still your best option if you are the Steelers. And I think Rodgers knows that, and is part of why he continues to play the game. I think he wants what he feels would be a better situation that would allow him to come in and potentially win a Super Bowl. I think he is looking at it and saying that is very unlikely with the Steelers this coming season. And I think he's probably right about that. But I don't know that the option that he's looking for is out there, where it's a Super Bowl ready team. The only missing part is you. And listen, I don't rule out the possibility. And I tend to be the optimist. I thought the Steelers had a great draft, like not a good draft. I thought they had a great draft. And with that receiving core, yes, the dynamics could go haywire in an instant. I fully acknowledge that, and am half expecting that is what's going to happen, that one way or another, that thing is going to implode. But talent-wise, again, the offensive line, still not, I think they're heading in the right direction there. They're not there yet. But I like the running back they got. I like the talent of the the 1 and 2 receivers. And I like the defense, and I like what they did to improve things up the middle there. So I could make the argument that, man, if this thing works, and it's a capital I, capital F, if somehow this chemistry comes together with Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf and George Pickens, and somehow the 2 receivers get along and they're okay with the way the ball is being divvied up, I think it has the potential to be maybe a little bit of, capturing that.
And that would be Mason leading them or Rodgers?
Rodgers leading.
Okay.
No, Mason Rudolph is not leading them anywhere not anywhere big. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is either. But I think there's a chance. Yeah. Right. If Rodgers comes in and Rodgers just feels great about everything and the chemistry somehow does work, I still think it's very unlikely that the Steelers are out there surpassing the Chiefs or the Bills this coming season, or even the Bengals if they're healthy, or certainly the Ravens. But do I think there's a possibility with Rodgers there? Yes. I mean, I guess it's possible. It's sports. Crazy things happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really possible with Rudolph. If Rudolph started the first half of the season and then Will Howard does come on and he is the it guy and he could lead him in the second half, Yeah, I mean, I guess best case scenario, you want to be the ultimate optimist. Yes, could that play out and the Steelers, again, have that just unbelievable, unexpected run? Yes, I mean, it could happen. I think Rodgers gives them the best chance this year.
Yeah.
But
defense,
I think there's a lot of things that are working against the Steelers in terms of being a legit Super Bowl contender in the upcoming season.
You know what they've never had is that full and complete makeover.
Yeah.
They haven't had it
and
under, I would say they didn't have it under
no.
Cowher. You know, they had some bad years there, but he didn't. I mean, it was like there are some teams who have to just clear house.
Yeah.
Clean house. Like Flyers, Penguins, Pirates. You know what I mean? That type of thing where the Steelers have never had to go and do that. I would be surprised to think what the lowest draft pick that they deserved, not traded for or picked up through a trade. I mean, I can't remember anything in the top 10 in the last.
Yeah.
That's a great mark. That's a mark of a great damn franchise.
Going to the Pirates just for a moment, since you mentioned them and cleaning the house. It really is. Listen, thankfully, the Colorado Rockies exist this year because that is an historically god-awful team that the Rockies are putting out there this year. But what the Pirates are putting out for, and I'm going to use air quotes, an offensive, it is an offensive offense that they are trying to get away with. How you cannot have anybody outside of O'Neal Cruz that looks even resembles a major league hitter in your starting lineup when you have Paul Skeens as one of your starters. And I know Mitch Keller's off to a little bit of a rough start, but that starting rotation has the potential to be a really solid starting pitching core. Now, the Stugart's performance last night kind of reemphasizing yet again, bullpen has some work to do. But how you can have an offense, like it is hard to believe that the New York Yankees and the Pittsburgh Pirates are playing the same game. That those two lineups are actually in the same league.
I'm with you on that.
Like, we watched that Padres-Yankees game, and the Padres, by the way, did a terrific job. And even with that, you're like, ooh, that is that's what a Major League Baseball lineup looks like. How the Pirates can be this far removed from it.
Oh, I know we don't have time, but where for being so bad for so many years over the last decade, how do they not have? Have they traded the talent away?
It's amazing.
Still just not. They're making bad picks.
No, they don't make any
Jeans, Keller
of significance. That's the other thing. All right, we're out of time. We
I ruined your night. There you go. Nice for you, buddy.
Yeah, that was on me. We're back Thursday. Much more that we will discuss. Until then, be good and be safe.
If you're suffering from spring fever, Lion Country Kia has the cure. The Spring Fever Reliever is a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. They make it easy to choose because there's 86 brand new Kias in stock and ready to go. Lion Country Kia has 14 2025 Kia Sportages and 7 2025 Kia Sorentos available with financing as low as 3.49% for 72 months or total savings of over $4,000. And of course, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Stop in today and check out the full Kia lineup, plus a great selection of certified pre-owned Kias. Enjoy spring in Happy Valley. Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dropable Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again,
The Fox,
your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, The Fox, State College.